She allegedly shot and killed him accidentally while they were trying to make a YouTube video.
If you think it takes views and likes to make it big on YouTube, you are wrong. Sometimes it takes everything, even your life. These are the YouTubers who risked it all and paid the ultimate price while the cameras were rolling. Viewer discretion is advised as we uncover the high-stakes world where fame meets fate. Greg Plitt. In the YouTube world, where thrill and fame often push creators to their limits, Greg Plitt was a standout name. Known for his electrifying energy and intense workouts, Greg captured the hearts of millions with his videos. But on January 17, 2015, in the quiet town of Burbank, Greg's quest for thrill took a tragic turn that no one saw coming. Greg Plitt, or George Gregory Plitt Jr. if you prefer, wasn't just another fitness model, he was a force of nature. His videos, they were more than just workout guides, they were motivational speeches wrapped in sweat and grit. Greg made you feel like you could conquer the world just by pushing a little harder. He was all about breaking boundaries and defying the impossible. So, when Greg decided to promote a new energy drink, he wasn't going to do it in some boring, ordinary way. Nope, Greg wanted to make a statement. His plan? Outrun a speeding train. Sounds like something out of an action movie, right? So there he was, standing on the railroad tracks, heart pounding, ready to sprint as a train barreled toward him. The train's horn was blaring, a desperate warning to get off the tracks. But Greg, he didn't flinch. The thrill, the adrenaline, this was his ultimate challenge. As the train roared closer, Greg took off, sprinting with everything he had. It was supposed to be the ultimate dramatic moment for his viewers. But real life isn't like the movies. The train, hurtling at over 60 miles per hour, couldn't stop in time. The collision was sudden, catastrophic, and fatal. The impact was so shocking, so devastating that it left everyone who saw it in utter disbelief. After Greg Plitt's death, there was an outpouring of grief from his fans and the fitness community. People were heartbroken, but there was also a lot of controversy. Critics slammed Greg's reckless behavior, calling it not just dangerous, but downright irresponsible. They pointed out that his attempt to push the boundaries for the sake of views had ultimately cost him his life. As we bid a heartfelt farewell to Greg Plitt, let's turn our attention to another fearless content creator, Grant Thompson. Grant, who everyone knew as the King of Random, wasn't just a regular YouTuber. With over 11 million subscribers, he was the go-to guy for crazy life hacks, cool experiments, and clever projects. His videos were pure gold, packed with creative ideas and boundless curiosity that made you want to try new things. That day started like any other for Grant, filled with the excitement of trying something new, paragliding. But nature can be unpredictable. While paragliding is thrilling, it can also be dangerous. One of the biggest risks is sudden updrafts, strong winds that can throw even the best paraglider off course. And that's exactly what happened to Grant. A powerful updraft took hold of his paraglider, turning what was supposed to be a fun adventure into a terrifying spiral out of control. The result was a fatal crash. When search teams found him, they also discovered his recording device, a haunting reminder of the risks he took. The news of Grant's death spread quickly. Fans and fellow YouTubers were shocked. The response was huge. Local authorities and volunteers came together for a massive search operation, using helicopters and ground teams to cover the park's rugged terrain. It was a tough search, but the community's dedication was incredible. Grant's passing was a heavy blow. People watched his last moments over and over, not just to understand what happened, but to remember a man who lived life to the fullest. Even though Grant is gone, he lives through the countless videos he left behind. The story continues with Tor Eckhoff. When it comes to extreme adventures, Tor Eckhoff, known to his fans as Apor Tor Eof, was a legend among thrill seekers and ice lovers. This 57-year-old Norwegian adventurer had a knack for taking on some of the coldest and most dangerous environments known to man. His YouTube videos were mesmerizing, showcasing his fearless nature and a never-ending quest to push the limits. But on one fateful day, the icy grip of his favorite playground would claim his life. It was November 22nd, 2021, Tor's 57th birthday. True to his daring spirit, he decided to celebrate in a way only he could. He posted a video titled, "I am not dead, I am 57 today," a cheeky nod to his age and his love for risky undertakings. His fans had no idea that this would be his final video, marking the end of his incredible journey. Tor's videos often featured him taking on the harshest, coldest environments, from frozen lakes to snow-covered mountains. His resilience and bravery were truly captivating. Watching him, you couldn't help but be in awe of how he seemed to dance on the edge of danger, always eager to explore the limits of his endurance. Just 5 days after his birthday video, Tor set out for what would tragically be his last adventure. He headed to a partially frozen lake, a place that had provided stunning backdrops for many of his past videos. The ice-covered lake looked like the perfect setting for another extreme feat, but as Tor made his way across the frozen surface, disaster struck. The ice, which appeared solid, suddenly gave way beneath him, plunging him into the frigid waters below. Imagine the shock of hitting that icy water. Tor struggled to pull himself out, his movements hampered by the freezing cold and the unstable ice around him. It was a desperate fight for survival. The cold water sapped his strength quickly, and hypothermia set in, robbing him of his clarity and energy. Rescue teams were dispatched immediately after his distress signal went out, but the harsh conditions and the vast, rugged terrain made the search incredibly challenging. Despite their best efforts, the combination of the extreme cold and his frantic struggle was too much for him to survive. His videos had won him a substantial following and admiration for showcasing the raw beauty and brutality of cold environments. But this passion also brought him face to face with nature's unforgiving side. His story is a powerful reminder of the dangers that lie beneath the surface, no matter how well prepared or experienced one might be. With this, we turn to Pedro Ruiz III, who wasn't just looking for his 15 minutes of fame. He was a man on a mission, driven by a fearless spirit and an insatiable hunger for excitement. He always went a step further, the one who turned heads with his wild stunts and infectious laughter. Ever heard, "Go big or go home"? Well, let Pedro Ruiz III tell you what it really means. Together with his girlfriend, Mona Lisa Perez, Pedro started La Mona Lisa, a YouTube channel that quickly gained traction. Their vlogs and pranks were a hit, showing the world the fun and love they shared. But for Pedro, this was just the beginning. He had bigger dreams that involved pushing boundaries and doing the unthinkable. So, he created Damn It Boy, a channel dedicated to high-stakes stunts that promised to be anything but ordinary. Pedro's goal? To go viral by performing daring acts that would leave viewers in awe. He was convinced that taking risks was the key to standing out in the crowded world of YouTube. Then came June 26, 2017, a day that started like any other but ended in unimaginable tragedy. Pedro had come up with what he believed would be the stunt to end all stunts. The plan was straightforward, yet incredibly dangerous. Mona Lisa would shoot him with a .50 caliber Desert Eagle while he held an encyclopedia against his chest. He was certain the book would stop the bullet. Mona Lisa was hesitant, but Pedro's unshakable confidence convinced her to go along with it. They set up outside their home, cameras rolling from every angle. Their 3-year-old daughter and about 30 curious onlookers gathered to witness this. Pedro stood there, book against his chest, radiating excitement and certainty. "It'll be fine. Just aim for the book," he reassured Mona Lisa. But reality can be harsh. When Mona Lisa pulled the trigger, the bullet tore through the book and struck Pedro in the chest. The chaos that followed was immediate. Mona Lisa frantically called 911, but it was too late. Pedro's life ended almost instantly, leaving everyone in shock and disbelief. Then there was grief and controversy. Mona Lisa was charged with second-degree manslaughter, and the media frenzy that ensued highlighted the perils of chasing viral fame. She pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 6 months in prison, 10 years of supervised probation, and was banned from profiting off the incident in any way. The video of that day was never released, becoming part of the tragic lore of internet fame. As we leave behind this unfortunate incident, we move to Albert Dirland. Albert was a big name on YouTube with over 200,000 subscribers. His channel was packed with funny sketches, vlogs, and music videos that brought a lot of joy to his fans. He had a natural charisma that made him super relatable and entertaining. On July 28, 2021, Albert was filming in the Italian Alps at a place called Mount Cicada. This spot is known for its stunning views and steep cliffs, perfect for some epic shots but also pretty dangerous. Albert, being his adventurous self, was trying to get an amazing video right on the edge of a cliff. While filming, he accidentally slipped and fell about 200 meters, that's over 650 feet. It was a horrifying and sudden accident. Immediately, someone in his team called for help, and emergency responders jumped into action. A rescue helicopter was quickly dispatched to the scene. The terrain was super challenging, making it hard for the rescuers to reach Albert quickly. The rescuers, trained for these kinds of emergencies, descended from the helicopter using ropes and harnesses. They managed to reach Albert, but he was in a critical condition. Despite their best efforts to stabilize him, Albert's injuries were too severe. He succumbed to his injuries at the scene before he could be transported to a hospital. The emergency team did everything they could, but the fall had been too drastic. The news of Albert's death was devastating for his fans and fellow YouTubers. They shared memories and expressed their grief on social media. His videos had made so many people laugh and feel connected, and losing him was a huge blow to everyone who loved his content. Up next, it's the tale of Jacob Cockle, whose fascination with nature's raw power ended in a heart-wrenching accident. Jacob Cockle. Jacob Cockle was the kind of guy who lived for the thrill. A filmmaker from Cornwall, UK, he had a knack for capturing the wildest moments on camera. His YouTube channel might not have had millions of subscribers, but those who followed him knew they were in for some insane content. We're talking surfing, diving, and extreme sports that made your palms sweat just watching. On May 28, 2013, Jacob decided to up the ante. He had his eyes on this crazy whirlpool at Hale Harbour in Cornwall, known locally as the washing machine. Just the name alone tells you this thing was no joke. Picture a massive, swirling vortex of water ready to suck in anything that dared to get close. Sounds like a terrible idea to go near it, right? Not for Jacob. Armed with his trusty GoPro, Jacob thought he could handle it. After all, he'd done risky stuff before. But this whirlpool was a whole different beast. It was like nature's own deadly spin cycle, and it wasn't about to play nice. Jacob waded into the churning water, aiming to get some epic footage, but almost immediately, he was in over his head, literally. The whirlpool grabbed hold of him and spun him around like a rag doll. Imagine being in a giant blender with no off switch. He tried to swim out, but the current was just too strong. People on the shore saw what was happening and freaked out. They called for help, and soon enough, a rescue team showed up, including coast guards and a helicopter. These guys were pros, but even they had to battle the insane currents to get to Jacob. After what felt like an eternity, they finally pulled him out. Paramedics jumped in, doing everything they could to bring him back. They worked on him right there, desperately trying to revive him, but it was too late. The whirlpool had done its worst. The news hit hard. Friends, family, fans, everyone was heartbroken. Social media lit up with tributes and memories of Jacob, praising his guts and his zest for life. He wasn't just a thrill seeker, he was a guy who inspired others to live a little more boldly. As we say goodbye to Jacob Cockle, we turn to the story of James Stobie. James Jim William Stobie, known to his fans as Stobe the Hobo, wasn't filming pranks or challenges. He was documenting a life that few dared to live. Stobe was a train hopper, a modern-day hobo, riding the rails across America and sharing his adventures with a loyal audience who couldn't get enough of the gritty, raw reality he presented. Stobe's videos were unlike anything else on YouTube. With a camera in hand and a piano playing in the background, he took his viewers on a journey through the underbelly of America. The sights were rough, the stories were real, and the risks were always high. But Stobe knew the game, and he played it well, until the day the game turned against him. On November 8, 2017, Stobe's journey came to a tragic and mysterious end. The details are hazy, with different stories circulating online. Some say he fell from a bridge, others believe his backpack got caught on a passing Amtrak train, dragging him to his death. What we do know is that Stobe was found near the Pulaski Highway overpass in Baltimore, where his final ride ended in disaster. For a man who had spent over a decade mastering the rails, his death left many in shock. How could someone so experienced, so in tune with the dangers of train hopping, meet such a tragic fate? The questions linger, but the answers are lost to the shadows of that fateful night. Even after his untimely death, Stobe's legend only continues to grow. His channel, once a niche corner of YouTube, has become a touchstone for those drawn to a life of adventure off the beaten path. The comment section under his videos is filled with tributes, memories, and new fans discovering his unique brand of storytelling. In a way, Stobe's dream of reaching 1 million subscribers is still alive, fueled by those who find inspiration in his daring spirit. For the rail riders who follow in his footsteps, Stobe remains both a legend and a warning. His videos captured not just the freedom of the rails, but also the lurking dangers that can strike when you least expect it. As Stobe himself once said, "Don't ever think you're invincible out there, cause definitely no one is a master of one of those trains." Stobe the hobo may be gone, but his spirit rides on, haunting the rails he loved and the hearts of those he left behind. Ruben Carbonell was a young man who loved living on the edge, always looking for the next big thrill. His YouTube channel was filled with stunts that pushed the limits, but one night in September 2019, that drive for excitement took a deadly turn. Ruben and his friend decided to sneak into a cement factory in Alicante, Spain. Their plan? To film an illegal base jump from a 150-foot tower. It was risky, but that's what made it so exciting. They managed to climb to the top of the tower under the cover of darkness, cameras rolling, hearts racing. Ruben was ready. The moment had come. He took a deep breath, stepped off the edge, and disaster. His parachute didn't open properly. In a split second, he was plummeting toward the ground. His friend, who was filming, could do nothing but watch in horror as Ruben fell to his death. Emergency services were called, but it was too late. The stunt that was supposed to make for a jaw-dropping video ended in a tragic loss. The tragic accident sent shockwaves through Ruben's community. It highlighted the growing trend of people taking extreme risks for online fame, often without fully understanding the dangers involved. The cement factory's management pressed charges, citing the illegal entry, and the story served as a stark reminder of how dangerous the pursuit of views and excitement can be. Nishu Deswal was a rising star in the world of daring stunts and tractor tricks, capturing the hearts of millions with his fearless attitude and larger-than-life persona. With over 2 million YouTube subscribers and 1.9 million followers on Instagram, Nishu wasn't just playing around, he was living on the edge and his fans loved every second of it. But sometimes, living on the edge means one wrong move can lead to disaster. That's exactly what happened in Panipat, Haryana, where Nishu's love for stunts took a tragic turn. On a day like any other, Nishu set out to do what he did best, impress his fans with a jaw-dropping stunt. The plan? Perform a wheelie on a massive tractor, leaning it back to a near 90-degree angle while holding the position like a pro. But as the tractor's giant wheels spun in the soft dirt, things started to go south. The vehicle lost its grip, tipping back until it was completely vertical. What happened next was a nightmare. Before anyone could react, the tractor flipped backward, crashing down with a force that crushed Nishu beneath it. The scene was pure chaos. His friends who had been filming the stunt could only watch in horror as the accident unfolded. Thousands of viewers who were watching live couldn't believe what they were seeing. Nishu had pulled off stunts like this 100 times, but this time, the machinery failed him. Speculations ran wild. Some blamed a faulty roll bar that was supposed to keep the tractor stable, while others pointed to the old, unreliable equipment. Nishu's untimely death sent shockwaves through his community of fans and fellow creators. He was a man who lived for the thrill, always pushing boundaries, but this time, the risk was just too great. The outpouring of grief was immense, with many remembering Nishu for his infectious energy and his fearless approach to life. Next, the streets of Nashville, where Timothy Wilkes' prank took a deadly turn in a shocking confrontation. Timothy Wilkes was this ambitious guy from Tennessee, diving headfirst into the world of YouTube. His channel was all about the shock factor, pranks, challenges, and stunts designed to make you gasp and laugh. Timothy was always on the hunt for that one big viral hit, something that would skyrocket his channel and get everyone talking. On the night of February 5th, 2021, Timothy had a plan that he thought was pure gold. He and a buddy decided to stage a fake robbery for their next video. The idea? Approach random people with butcher knives, pretend to rob them, and capture their terrified reactions on camera. Sounds wild, right? Well, it was, but not in the way he imagined. They picked the Urban Air Trampoline and Adventure Park in Nashville for their prank, thinking it would be a great spot with lots of unsuspecting targets. The parking lot was buzzing with people, perfect for what Timothy had in mind. He was pumped, ready to pull off what he thought would be his most epic video yet. As Timothy and his friend approached a group of people in the parking lot, knives in hand, they went into full fake robbery mode. But here's the kicker. One of the guys in the group, David Stans Jr., wasn't in on the joke. David was 23 and he was carrying a gun for protection. The moment Timothy and his friend made their move, David didn't hesitate. Feeling genuinely threatened, he pulled out his gun and shot Timothy, thinking he was defending himself and his friends from a real attack. The sound of the gunshot echoed through the parking lot, and Timothy hit the ground, the life draining out of him. Chaos erupted. People screamed, someone called 911, and within minutes, the place was swarming with police. They found Timothy lying there, motionless. David stayed put, waiting for the cops to arrive, clearly shaken but ready to explain what had gone down. When the police started piecing together the scene, David told them he had no clue it was a prank. To him, it was a life or death situation, and he reacted the only way he knew how, by protecting himself. After talking to witnesses and looking at the evidence, the police concluded that David had acted in self-defense. No charges were filed against him. Leaving behind the streets of Nashville, let's climb to the dizzying heights of China's skyscrapers with Wu Yongning. Wu Yongning, who took the world of extreme stunts to unbelievable heights, literally. Known as China's first rooftopper, Wu's videos were the stuff of legends, but his quest for the ultimate thrill led to a tragic and heart-stopping end. Wu Yongning wasn't just any daredevil. He was a fearless stuntman who made a name for himself by performing jaw-dropping feats on top of skyscrapers without any safety gear. His YouTube and social media channels were packed with videos of him dangling from the edges of buildings, doing pull-ups on ledges, and scaling towering structures, all while filming himself. With over 60,000 followers on Weibo, China's social media platform, Wu was the ultimate thrill seeker, always looking for the next big challenge. On November 8, 2017, Wu set out to top all his previous stunts. He chose the Huayuan Hua Center, a 62-story skyscraper in Changsha, China. His plan? To perform an incredible stunt that he hoped would earn him a substantial cash prize, reportedly for a wedding and to support his sick mother. He had done risky stunts before, but this one was supposed to be his most epic yet. With his camera rolling, Wu climbed to the top of the skyscraper. The footage shows him starting his stunt, hanging off the edge of the building, preparing to do pull-ups. But then, something went horribly wrong. As he struggled to pull himself back up, it became clear he was in serious trouble. His grip failed, and in a terrifying moment that has been viewed by millions, Wu fell from the building, plummeting 45 stories to his death. People below heard the crash and quickly called for help. Emergency services arrived, but it was too late. Wu's body was found on a terrace 45 stories down from where he started. The news of his death spread like wildfire, sending shockwaves through his fan base and the global community of thrill seekers. Now let's plunge into the breathtaking but deadly beauty of Shannon Falls in British Columbia with Riker Gamble, whose adventurous spirit led to a tragic fall. Riker Gamble. Riker Gamble was a core member of High on Life, a group of fearless adventurers who traveled the globe, pulling off insane stunts and living life on the edge. Their YouTube channel was a goldmine of breathtaking travel videos and daredevil antics. With hundreds of thousands of subscribers, Riker and his crew were the ultimate symbols of living life to the fullest. But, as they say, with great adventure comes great risk. And for Riker, that risk turned deadly in July 2018. Riker, along with his buddies Alexei Liash and Megan Scraper, decided to tackle Shannon Falls in British Columbia. This place is no joke. Think stunning views mixed with dangerous terrain. The plan was simple: hike up to the top of the falls and film some epic footage. Shannon Falls is massive, plunging over 1,000 feet with sheer cliffs and slippery rocks. It's the kind of place where one wrong step could spell disaster, but Riker and his friends were used to flirting with danger. As they climbed higher, the views got more amazing and the stakes got higher. They reached a pool at the top of the falls where the water rushes over the edge with incredible force. Naturally, they wanted to get the perfect shot, so they edged closer and closer to the brink. And then it happened. Megan slipped on the slick rocks and was swept into the fast-moving water. Without a second thought, Riker and Alexei jumped in to save her. The current was relentless, and in an instant, all three of them were dragged over the edge of the waterfall, plummeting over 100 feet to the rocks below. The scene was chaotic. Witnesses on the ground were in shock and immediately called for help. Emergency responders arrived quickly, but the terrain was treacherous. The rescuers worked tirelessly, but by the time they reached them, it was too late. Riker, Alexei, and Megan didn't survive the fall. Social media lit up with tributes and messages of shock and sorrow. Riker and his friends had always preached living boldly and taking risks, but no one expected those risks to end so tragically.